Earthquakes, lightning, pouring rain, tornadoes, tsunamis, and a hurricane. Killer Earth.
Okay, we're recording.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
What's going on?
Okay, so let's get right into it. We are re-recording our episode from last week. Last week we recorded, it was my topic. We recorded an episode about hippos.
Yeah, and it was really good, but it was not.
We had some
we're
problems.
Recording. Yeah.
So it was Cinco de Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing some day drinking.
Yeah, just a little. Sam left that day, so I was like kind of sad, and I was like, we can record tonight. And then I was just like, I mean, yeah, I was there, but I wasn't there, and it just wasn't. I just didn't love the episode, so we're re-recording for that reason. I was just being kind of annoying.
Well, also had some technical issues. Your mic wasn't working.
My mic was terrible.
Yeah, and it truly, the quality when you were listening back to it after I published the episode, it really wasn't where it needed to be.
No.
And that was a bad judgment call on my part, publishing the episode at all. So
I mean, you did your best and like whatever. We just want to make sure you have great content. So for you listeners who downloaded the first one, erase it immediately.
Well, it's no longer available. It's been
we unpublished,
but we figured out the situation with your microphone, so we're good.
Yeah, it's so much better.
And we are ready to start fresh.
Yeah.
And, do this thing over. So not many people, relatively speaking, downloaded the episode. It was only up for like not even a day.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that everyone will re-listen.
Yeah.
Who listened to it.
I think it's going to be worth it. Yeah.
Anyway, so a few things that we had covered on the episode that we're re-recording that we still wanted to touch on were just like a little life update thing. So you had COVID recently.
Yes, I did.
Really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't like I wasn't like hospitalized or anything. I'm definitely fully vaccinated with a booster, all that jazz. But I did get it, and it like had me down for like 3 weeks. Like the first week was pretty terrible. The second week was just like nothing was changing. And I just felt horrible every day. And then the third week, I was just like, I'm just so drained. Like, I don't know if you've heard this, like COVID brain. Like it actually is a thing. Like my brain was foggy. Like I couldn't think straight. Just like, I don't know. And then my biggest issue was like my ears. And I didn't hear a lot of people like complain about this, but this is what I experienced. Like my ears got super clogged up. And they were like so painful for like weeks. And it actually made me really dizzy because I guess when your ears are clogged, it affects your balance and stuff. So,
yeah.
And obviously I wasn't driving anyway because I had COVID and I was like quarantining, but I couldn't drive. It was weird. So, but I'm fine. It was good. It kind of had me like slow down in life. Like instead of just like doing something every day and going crazy and, like I always do, I'm just always busy. And this gave me an opportunity to just like be present and just be sick and like rest.
Yeah. You said you slept a ton.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Remember you would call me and I'd call you like hours later and I was like, I'm still sleeping.
And also, side note, not that this is why we didn't record, sooner than a month in between these two episodes, but you were really legitimately very sick and you were, and I was on vacation too, but
yeah, it overlapped. It wasn't, so
just a little background info because we swear to God, we're really trying to be better about putting episodes out more regularly.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are two of our little excuses.
Which I think is why we like published the episode also because we really wanted to get another one out. But then when we both thought about it, we were like, we need to re-record this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever.
Which this happens. This is
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe not re-recording so much, but people take podcast episodes down all the time. We work
Yeah.
so hard researching each topic that, you know, it would be out of the question to not re-record because that would be such a waste.
Yes. I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was away. I went on vacation with my family to Florida.
Yay. That sounded so much fun.
It was the
Like so
best
much
trip.
fun.
It was the best trip. We went to Universal Studios. Um, my family were total like Disney World, Universal Studios people. We typically go to Florida like 3 to 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm. That's
Not
so nice.
not to the parks 3 to 4 times a year. My grandparents live there, but I grew up going to these theme parks every year. So it was really cool to take low and yeah, it was amazing.
What was your favorite ride at Universal?
Jurassic Park,
Oh yeah.
best ride ever.
Was it actually scary? Like, or was it like, what did
No,
you think?
so the quality, I saw a video on TikTok about what the ride used to look like.
Mm-hmm.
The animatronics used to be way more exciting. And I've been on the ride several times, like as a teenager.
Oh,
So
awesome.
the ride has the steepest water ride drop in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the picture you
Yes.
posted?
Yes. On my social media. It's Owen, my brother, my sister-in-law, Lindsay, my daughter, and me in the front row. And then in the back, the row right behind us is my mom and her boyfriend, Sandy. And then these 2 guys that were super cool who were like in line with us. And you like normally or like before with this ride, right before you take the steep drop, this T-Rex tries to eat you.
Oh,
There was no T-Rex this time. I was like, what the
Aw,
fuck?
man.
But when I tell you this is the steepest fucking drop, like it was insane. And then we were in the front, so this like tidal wave came over us.
Oh, that's so
It
cool.
was so
That's
fun.
such a funny photo. I love that photo of you guys because
We
it's
were
like the whole crew and
we were dying laughing. We just didn't expect it. I hadn't been on the ride for a few years, and I just didn't remember it being that crazy.
yeah, it's a bummer they took out the T-Rex at the end though.
I know. I was like,
Because that's like scary. That's like a little last like woo.
yeah. I was like, where's the T-Rex? So lame. But worst ride. Do you want to know the worst ride?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. The Fast and the Furious ride
Okay.
is the dumbest fucking ride I have ever been on in my life. Okay.
What is it?
Okay. So you get into line in this like warehouse, and there's there's
Okay.
all these like cool cars. Like I don't know anything about cars, like sports cars, racing cars,
Uh-huh.
not racing cars, but like street racing cars.
Mhm.
Then you get on a city bus. That's what you're riding in.
Okay.
Okay, I don't remember there being a city bus in the first movie. I've only
Yeah.
seen the first one. Aren't there like 7 of them?
There's like a million. I don't even think I ever saw one of them because it just wasn't my thing. I
Okay,
don't know.
the first Fast and the Furious is legitimately a good movie.
Is
I
it?
remember seeing it, I think in like high school. It's and like Paul Walker is
I mean, he's so hot.
who's
But
dreamier than him. So
yeah.
you're in a bus with like 20 rows, like 6 people to a row, and it like drives you to like just I don't even know. I guess you're in another warehouse, and then there's this horrible like low quality movie screen on one side, like on a wall,
Mhm.
and it's all of the people from the movie except Paul Walker, like ludicrous and stuff,
Yeah.
talking about they're like at a prostitution party. It's literally a bunch of like hookers or like car models, and they're just like I don't know if hooker is the PC term. Sorry, sex workers.
Sex workers, yeah.
Sorry. And they're just talking about some problem that you're involved in because you're in the bus that they're going to take you along with. And then the whole ride is just like the bus just like careening around this like junky track, and like you're on a highway somewhere in LA, and like you're being chased by like helicopters, cars, like Vin Diesel is like jumping from like a helicopter to a truck. A fucking like excavator comes into play at some point and tries to take you out. It's the stupidest thing.
Is it going fast or is it just going slow
it's-
like with the movie thing?
It's going, yeah, you are supposed to have the illusion that you're going like 90 miles per hour down like the freeway or something, but it's so stupid. Then it like sprays you with water for no reason. You're like, why would there be water sprayed on us on like a hot highway in LA? It's so dumb. And Ludacris, the whole time, he's like on the TVs, like hanging from the ceiling of the bus. He's like, oh my God, like, fuck. Well, he doesn't say fuck, but he's like, we gotta outrun them. Like, they're coming for us. Like, it was the stupidest thing. Even Lola was sitting there, like, what is this? My mom was the only one that liked it. I caught her dancing to like the terrible hip hop.
Of course, Terry likes that, right?
It was.
That's
so
amazing.
So my brother works for a big corporation and they rent out Universal Studios sometimes for them.
Oh, awesome.
And there's like 30,000 people that go. He went on this ride before and he was like, let's not even do this. It's the dumbest ride, I promise you. And I'm like, no, let's just go because we had express passes. I'm like, let's just like try it. He's like, okay, I'm just warning you. This is like the biggest waste of our time. You're going to hate this ride. And Owen and I were sitting there just laughing because it was so.
I can't believe he went on it too. Again.
Well, I forced everyone to go on every single ride. There were only literally like 3 rides we didn't make it to in one of the parks because we just didn't have enough time.
Wow. That's pretty good though.
Yeah.
To hit everything else.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Here's some sprayed water for some weird effect.
I was like, what is that?
Sense.
Yeah, I was like, what is that like gasoline or something? Because like a car just exploded. Because it's definitely just water.
Oh, that's great.
But we stayed at this beautiful resort. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And
you had some cool rainstorms down there while you were there.
Yes, I sent you a voice memo. I was standing on the screened-in porch in the Airbnb that we rented where my grandparents live because that was like the second leg of our trip.
Mm-hmm.
And the thunder is just unreal. We don't have thunder like that around here. I swear, like I feel like the mountains or something in New England like absorb the sound because there it's just flat. It was
so scary.
It was so scary. It was like nightfall. It's this little house. All of the houses in this gated development are, very just, they're not, they don't have like concrete walls.
Yeah.
They don't have like poured concrete or like basements.
Right.
Like no storm shelters, or at least in our Airbnb. Yeah. And the sky was like black. It was like night. And the rain, it was like a waterfall.
Wow.
It was so crazy.
I mean, even the voice memo, it was just so loud.
You could barely hear my voice.
I know. It was insane.
Yeah. And
the South has the craziest thunder.
And I'm thinking like they have tornadoes in Florida sometimes, don't they? Once in a while.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm looking around like, where would we even go? Like the country club is like a block or 2 or whatever up from this house. And I'm like, I don't even think we'd make it.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
But it was a great trip. And then when I came home, it was my birthday and I had a little party.
I know.
With my family.
I'm so sad I couldn't make it.
Oh yeah. You were supposed to be like my secret guest.
Oh yeah. But then Terry was like, never mind, because I thought you guys were going to stay longer in Florida, which didn't happen. It was like a whole thing. So I like didn't come.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize you were still going to your brother's. I don't know why I didn't, but because I maybe would have popped over there because he's closer to me, but
we probably didn't communicate that.
Yeah.
Well,
also, I think I was still like getting over being sick.
Yeah.
So
probably.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm so old.
No, we're young at heart.
I'm young compared to like someone in a nursing home.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, well, should we get into our topic?
Yeah, I'm so
Just do this?
excited.
Okay. So, hippos. That's what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
So, I think I knew that hippos are dangerous and kill people, but I really had no idea how terrible they are.
Oh my God. I can't wait for your stories.
Well, all of this research that I did has really shed some light on how much I now dislike hippos.
Yeah, I bet.
Really can't stand them.
Oh,
Okay, so my sources are National Geographic, Wikipedia, of course, World Wildlife Fund, the African Wildlife Foundation, the San Diego Zoo, which has a live hippo feed.
oh my God. I need to check that out. That
Yeah.
sounds awesome. Yeah.
I put the link for it in the post about the
Oh,
episode.
great. Okay. Perfect.
They also have live feeds of other animals that they have there.
Oh.
And then I
Cool.
watched and azanimals.com was another one. And then I watched a ton of videos on YouTube. So the Fanatic, Claws, What Lurks Below, and Real Wild are all YouTube channels
Mm-hmm.
that had several videos about
Great.
hippos and hippo attacks.
That's awesome. I'll definitely check them out.
Yes, and I put other links too to the videos in the post.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so hippo. In Greek, it means river horse, but it's not like a horse at all. And we'll find out why. So I want to give a substantial amount of background info on the hippo because it's important.
I think so. Yeah. Let's do it.
To understanding
Mm-hmm.
why they are the worst.
Okay. Ready for it.
So hippos are one of Africa's largest animals. They're the third largest land mammal after elephants and white rhinos.
Wow.
They're herbivores, which is why it's so fucking crazy that they kill people every year. Like they kill a ton of people every year.
Mm-hmm. That is crazy.
Yeah, like they're not hunting you to eat you. They're hunting you because they're super territorial.
Mm-hmm.
They kill you just because you like exist in their presence.
Ugh.
And that's unlike most other apex predators. So like lions, sharks,
Yeah.
those types of predators they're going to eat you. They're not just going to like, bears, grizzly bears.
And apex meaning they're at the top of the food chain.
Yes. So
Okay.
apex predators are at the top of the food chain and they don't have any natural predators themselves.
Okay.
So like humans are technically apex predators also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just never really like used that term, so it's good to know, I guess. I don't know why, but yeah.
So hippos kill more people every year than lions, leopards, and crocodiles.
Dang.
The average is 500 people a year.
Wow, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. They're technically the deadliest land animal on Earth in terms of like actual attacks.
Mm-hmm.
But the mosquito is technically the deadliest creature because of transmitting diseases.
Yeah, definitely. That's crazy that they're right up there, like under mosquito, though. You wouldn't think, I guess.
So it's funny. When we recorded the episode way back about box jellyfish,
Uh-huh.
I think I literally Googled deadliest predator or animal or something in the world, and box jellyfish came up. So I was like, oh, I'll start with this one.
Yeah.
So I think what that meant was like deadly in terms of if you're stung by it,
Okay.
you have like no time and you're a goner.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Or like the intensity of its venom or something. But hippos are technically the deadliest animals.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like that's probably why that showed up in that category. Like box jellyfish.
Yeah.
Took the fastest way to. Well, anyway. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I've actually Googled the same, just like for trying to pick a topic. And I
Mhm.
think I've seen box jellyfish as like number one, like in some spots and some, you
Right.
know what I mean? So anyway.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so hippos have terrible dispositions. They're just assholes. They get easily pissed and they hate everyone. If a hippo attacks you, you're screwed. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. You can fight back, but it's unlikely that you're going to survive. In the event that a hippo actually like grabs you in its mouth
Oh,
and
that's
wants to kill
scary.
you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, hippos mostly attack in the water. So their water territory is very important to them. They're not as concerned with you on dry land.
Interesting.
Yeah, they still attack on dry land, but it's way more dangerous to be in the water
Yeah.
around a hippo than to be, kind of near a hippo on land.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So they are semi-aquatic. They hang out in shallow lakes, rivers, streams, and swamps. They're most often found in sub-Saharan African lakes, just waiting, hanging out in the water. Yep. So size-wise, they are 10 to 16 feet long.
That's insane.
Yeah. And 5 feet tall. They're huge.
I don't think, other than like a zoo, obviously that's the only place I've seen it, but I never, even in the zoo, I guess they're like mostly in the water. So I never even knew they could be that big. Like that long.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I thought that they were much smaller.
Me too.
Too.
Maybe like 6 feet or 7, like in my mind, but that's insane to me that they could be up to 16 feet. That's insane.
So there are also 2 types of hippos. There's hippos and then there's pygmy hippos, which are smaller, obviously. So I don't know if maybe I saw those somewhere and thought that
maybe they were pygmy.
Very possible. Yeah.
Do like, maybe, I don't know if you researched this, but do like pygmy and the regular hippo like live in the same places, or are they totally like
I mean? They do live, they both live in Africa, but I'm not sure if there's like an overlap.
Oh, interesting. I just didn't know there were like 2 different kinds. That's what was cool about learning this, but yeah.
Hippos live up to 50 years. The oldest living hippo was 61 when it died.
Wow.
I know.
It's like the age of a human.
I know, it's crazy. They are closest related to dolphins, whales, and pigs. They actually diverged from whales and porpoises 55 million years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, like given their like skin texture, and I know that's changed, but the blubber, like the
and you'll see as I describe them more, the things that they have in common with dolphins and pigs and whales.
Yeah.
So, due to the extreme heat of their environment, hippos spend up to 16 hours a day submerged in water.
Wow.
They don't have scent or sweat glands, so being submerged in water is totally essential.
Okay, now
this is weird. Instead of sweat, they secrete this blood red mucus-like substance. It looks like blood, but it's not blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's thick and oily, and people call it blood sweat.
Okay.
It like oozes out of their pores. So like I've seen videos and photos of hippos, obviously, but I never really noticed it. But I guess in person, hippos have this like red sheen to them.
Interesting. I'll have to like take a closer look when I look at photos and stuff next time.
It was hard for me to tell. I was looking, I'm like, no, they just look like grayish, but I guess like I read something where this scientist was like, it makes them look even more intimidating because it looks like they just like killed something and are covered in its blood.
Ew, yeah. Makes them more scary.
Yeah. But this blood sweat acts as sunblock and moisturizer.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So they're taking care of their skin naturally.
Yeah.
Hippos are also one of the loudest animals in Africa. They can be as loud as 115 decibels.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the equivalent of standing like 15 feet from the speakers at a concert.
I wonder what they sound like. I'm laughing because in the first recording, I attempted to do the sound, which I had no idea what I was even talking about, and that's why I was laughing. But it was not good, so
Yeah,
I'm not gonna repeat it.
What did you sound like? You sounded
Okay,
like.
I'll do it. It was like,
Oh, you remember? I feel like they have kind of like a not a
What?
roar, but like I don't even know. I can't even
Weren't you
think
like
of
it was like an elephant / like
Yeah.
tiger roar, like
Mm,
in between?
kind of like a I don't even know. I can't even describe it. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up too. I'd just be it, it'd just be interesting to know and also like know how loud they really are in person. It would be very intimidating.
It's funny because when I was researching this, I was also just kind of looking up like what other animals sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know in Jurassic Park, the sound effect they used for the T-Rex is, oh no, sorry, not the T-Rex. The sound effect they use for the raptors is what like certain species of turtles sound like when they're mating.
Really?
Yeah, like that's where they got the sound.
Wow. And they like
Yeah.
just did they tweak it a little bit, or is it actually directly coming from a turtle?
I think they recorded actual turtles mating and then probably tweaked the audio for the movie, but
That is so cool.
isn't that funny?
I'm never gonna look at a raptor the same way again on the movie,
I
like
know.
ever. That's so cool.
So cool. Hippos are territorial with other animals, also, not just humans.
Mm-hmm.
They have been seen killing crocodiles that were trying to kill something else. They just like didn't approve it.
Wow.
So they were like, no.
God.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
There's been recorded sightings of a crocodile trying to kill a water buffalo or a zebra getting a drink from the river or the
Mhm.
lake, and a hippo just coming up and be like, not today. Not doing it. Bye. And then just like kills the crocodile. Yeah.
They're such assholes.
They just don't want anything happening in their territory that they didn't like sign off on.
God, that's so funny. And then I know that like you and I had seen a TikTok that either I can't remember who shared it with you, but anyway, we saw one that did you see that with the crocodile was like came into their territory and like 50 hippos just went after the crocodile and like ate it?
Yeah.
Or not ate it, but attacked it, like mauled it to death.
Yeah, it was like a pillow party of hippos, and this crocodile was just being flung around like a rag doll.
Poor guy.
I mean, I hate crocodiles also, so
Yeah.
I'm not upset, but okay, so hippopods are controlled by one dominant male and one dominant female, but the male is ultimately the one in charge.
Okay.
He gets to mate with all of the females or whichever ones he's into, and he will let another male get some action with one of the females, like if he's not feeling it, you know? He's kind of like a pimp.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
I know.
What do the women think about this?
I don't think they think. Also, is pimp PC too? I'm throwing out a lot of like potentially offensive terms in the prostitution space. Are you allowed to say pimp anymore?
I don't know what the PC word is for that, but I think there is one. I think it's like oh man, I think I actually heard it the other day.
There's a PC term for
a John,
pimp.
isn't it a John?
That's a client. That's someone who hires a sex worker.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, okay.
A madam is a female pimp.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it's a little fancier.
Yeah. Well, we're trying our best, everyone. So
Yeah, don't cancel us.
don't cancel us.
I'll just text Hannah. Hannah always knows.
Yeah. And we'll, once we know, we'll use it.
The next time we talk about prostitution.
Yes.
Okay, so hippos are so large that, and we've all seen this footage, birds, turtles, and baby crocodiles often hang out on their backs when they're in the
Yeah.
water and they don't care.
Which is so funny to me that they care
Mhm.
about what a crocodile's doing in their den, but then like a bird's just chilling on its head, on the hippo's head, or whatever.
Probably the size of a bird or a baby crocodile or a turtle just doesn't even, they just don't even care. They're like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, just hang out.
Yeah.
You're not threatening to me.
So interesting.
Hippos only have one baby at a time,
Hmm.
and they breed year round.
Wow.
They are pregnant for 8 months, and they typically have a baby every other year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And that's another like human like kind of thing. Like it
Mhm.
takes, that long for the
Yeah.
pregnancy and then
And humans typically have one baby at a time.
yeah, interesting.
And also, hippos are really amazing mothers. They're super protective and they're big caregivers.
Aw, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Hippos, their eyes, ears, and nose are all on top of their head, so they can totally submerge in the water, but be aware of everything going on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they have the ability to keep themselves cool and not be distracted by being underwater.
That's awesome.
They actually sleep underwater sometimes because they have a reflex that allows them to pop up and breathe in air and then go back under.
While they're sleeping?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think they wake up.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Okay, so this is wild. Hippos can't swim.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought that they could swim.
Oh yeah, me too.
They run along the riverbed. That's how they move around in the water.
So they're mostly always in like really shallow places, obviously.
Yes. So, however, they can stay underwater for up to 5 minutes.
Wow.
So if they got into deeper water, they would just walk to shallow water and come up. Like, yeah, they wouldn't.
So they could go to the deep end and then still be fine and just kind of like,
yeah,
they don't swim. That's so fascinating.
Swim. Yeah, they just push up off of the riverbed. So that other video that we saw where the hippo is chasing that little boat, and it looks like it's swimming, like diving in and out of the water like a dolphin. It's not. It's just pushing up and down and pushing up and down.
Yeah, for those of you, Vanessa and I also saw this like TikTok where this guy was on a boat and the hippo like came out of nowhere, like charged the boat, and the boat was going like so fast to get away from this hippo, but the hippo was like right on his trail, and it does look like he's swimming, so that's what we're talking about. But it's insane.
Yeah, it's really crazy and really scary.
Yeah.
Hippos typically emerge from the water to graze at dusk when it's cooled off in the evening. They will travel up to 6 miles on land to graze, and they typically travel and graze in a single file line.
It's so cool.
I know, it's just so interesting how they organize that.
Yeah. And does like the leader of the pack, like, is he the leader of the line?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Interesting to look at. Yeah.
I'm not sure if the leader of the pods really just kind of maintain like how the mating works out, or if they're in charge of the whole program.
Yeah. That would be really, yeah, I'll have to Google that and see. That's awesome. Anyway.
So their main diet is marshy grasses, and they will eat 100 pounds of grass in a single night if they are feeling hungry.
Do they? You might not know. do they move around a lot? Like, does the grass do they ever eat it all? Like, do they migrate from water hole to water hole to find grass, or do they usually like stay in like a single location or?
From what I understand, they do kind of stay in the same like water area, but they graze, in they graze like quite a distance from like where their watering hole area is.
Okay. Yeah. Just 100 pounds. Wow. You'd think they'd like run out of like grass, but maybe not,
Yeah, they figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're also in like such a, hugely vegetative area.
True. Since it's like by the water. Yeah.
Hmm
Interesting.
So, hippos have stocky, fat legs,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't look like they would be very fast, but they actually can run up to 20 miles per hour.
Ah, that's so fast.
So just in comparison, humans can really only run up to 8 miles per hour.
Oh,
So you're not outrunning a hippo.
you're not. No.
Nope. Okay, so the most common attacks on people happen in boats,
Mm-hmm.
and the most common attacks are on local fishermen.
Oh, yeah.
An attacking hippo will totally submerge itself and then launch its body into the bottom of the boat and capsize it, or throw the human being in the boat out of the water,
Wow.
without overturning the boat.
Ugh,
Yes.
that's scary.
The hippo will then find the person in the water and kill them.
Mm.
They don't just let you have injuries from being launched out of a boat.
Right. And I'm sure you can't outswim a hippo either,
No.
let alone
Well,
outrun it.
you can. You can
Okay.
outswim a hippo technically.
Oh, yeah,
They
'cause they
can't
can't
swim, but
swim.
that's it. But if they also have the ability to just like kind of run in the water, if
Right.
it's, so
Yeah, wow.
there's like when we talk about like specific attacks on people, there is going to be one where someone survived because they outswam the hippo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's good news.
So hippos kill people by crushing them with their weight, biting them until they bleed out, or drowning them, or a combination of these.
Oh.
And like we said, they will kill crocodiles. They have also been known to kill lions and hyenas.
Uh-huh. Just from being in the area.
Mm-hmm. A full-grown adult hippo can take down multiple lions or hyenas.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're like dinosaurs,
Yeah.
like
they're
at that size.
So speaking of size, their weight, the average hippo weighs 3,300 pounds,
Wow.
but males never stop growing and they can be as heavy as 10,000 pounds.
Oh my God.
So like that,
Ugh.
compiled with their super sharp teeth, the fact that they can run fast, the fact that they're super vicious, they're superior predators.
Yeah, they're beasts. Like, whew.
Mm-hmm. So their teeth, they have tusks that grow from teeth at the front of their mouths.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have incisors in the front and canines in the back. The canines in the back are the super sharp ones.
Oh yeah. Oof.
Their teeth sharpen more and more as they age because they grind them, and this just keeps sharpening them.
Oh God.
And their teeth are made of extremely hard ivory. Hippo ivory is much harder than elephant ivory.
Mm.
Yeah. And I don't know about rhino ivory.
Yeah, it's funny because you always hear of like, I know it's like really bad, like to collect or hunt for ivory, which has been such a problem with elephants. I guess I've never heard of like rhino ivory. Maybe I just haven't been aware of it, but
So I don't know where I read this, or someone told me this. I guess rhino powder from their ivory is maybe kind of a big thing in like Chinese medicine or a certain type of Chinese medicine. but it's
Okay.
I don't think it's been tested and it doesn't do shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's
Interesting.
there's a serious rhino poaching issue because of the demand for the powdered
Oh man.
horns
That sucks.
in Asia and China. Yeah.
Yeah, but have you ever heard of like hippo ivory being like a thing that like people poach for?
So I think hippos are just so much more difficult to hunt than
Yeah.
elephants and rhinos
Yeah.
that maybe it's not as common.
Okay.
Because yeah, I never had heard of that. I've never heard of, but I did read in my research that there are poachers that hunt them for their meat and for their ivory, but
Oh,
I
interesting.
don't think it's as widespread as elephants and rhinos.
Yeah.
So if a hippo yawns in your direction, it's a super bad sign that you're about to get attacked.
Ugh.
Yawning is a sign of aggression and it's a warning that you're way too close.
Which is crazy because you see that image all the time, like on
Mhm.
Discovery Channel, or just like, in general, you see this like hippo yawning and you think, oh, how cute. It's just yawning and lazy.
It's just tired.
Yeah.
Female hippos are the most aggressive when they're with their babies.
Yeah.
And male hippos are most aggressive during mating season.
Okay.
That tracks all of that.
Yeah, definitely.
I watched a ton of like hippo attacks that were almost bad on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
So there's this one video and I posted the link to it. It's actually like a compilation of attacks.
Okay.
It's these two guys fishing in this small metal boat, and for whatever reason they have like a dash cam on the back of the boat, so it's like peering down at them. And there's a hippo in the distance, but they don't see it.
Oh no.
But it's got its little head poking out and it's just staring at them.
Oh.
And they're not paying attention. And then the hippo disappears and it's like 2 or 3 minutes where you're just like watching and you're like, what's gonna happen? And all of a sudden the boat is just rammed from underneath and both of these guys like nearly fall out. Then you see a third guy who you didn't know was on the boat in the back, and he like fires up the motor.
Oh.
And one of the guys that you see almost fall out takes a handgun and fires it at the hippo, and it makes the hippo stop attacking them.
Oh my God.
And then they get out of there. But like the video is crazy because this one guy was so close to falling headfirst into the water and he would have been dead. There's no way.
That's insane. And I'm so glad they had a motor and a gun. Like,
yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I mean, most of these fishermen in Africa who are like fishing for food probably don't have that.
A lot of boats are just like canoes or rowboats.
My God. I can't wait to see that video.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to watch it like right after this episode.
So speaking of kayakers and canoers, there was another video I watched. It was on the Lugenda River in Mozambique.
Okay.
So why you would ever take a kayak tour into hippo territory, I will never understand.
No, me either.
But there's this group of kayakers with a guide, and this hippo is stalking them, and it's like popping up in the water in different spots.
Oh God. And
then it's like popping through those like grassy sections, like those little islands in the middle of the river.
Yep.
And then it goes after one of the kayakers and it almost flips the kayak over.
Oh.
But they're able to make it to the riverbank. And okay, so survival tip. This is what I've learned from this research. Always get to the riverbank and get on land. It decreases the chance of the attack continuing once you get on land.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like most people might have the urgency to like, paddle away from the hippo in the water, but it's like go to the side instead.
Yeah. Get right to the land.
That's crazy. Yeah. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. So in 2008, hippos were recognized as a vulnerable species. It's super important to the ecosystem that there's a healthy abundance of them. One reason is that all of the poop that they produce in the
Mhm.
rivers, it's essential to the survival of fish and insects because it's so nutrient dense because they're herbivores.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the hippo population takes a sharp decline, there's going to be way less feces. And that's a super essential food source for so many other organisms.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So they are technically a vulnerable species,
Okay.
like a protected species.
Yeah. Absolutely. That makes sense.
They have dolphin-like communication skills. They make clicks underwater.
Cool.
Also like whales.
Aw.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get dark.
Let's get dark.
Okay, so hippos are herbivores, like for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
But in July of 1995, a group of ecologists that were in Africa studying local hippo populations, they witnessed a hippo kill an impala, and then all of these other hippos start eating it.
Oh man. That's so strange.
It was the first time in scientific history that a hippo was seen eating another animal.
Wow.
There were no other reports from, the vantage point of a scientist doing research.
That's crazy.
Yeah, of a hippo actually eating meat. Since then, there have been sightings of hippos eating water buffaloes. So the conclusion is that during the dry season, when the grass is more scarce, hippos in a pinch will kill and eat other animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just really hungry at that point.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So in Africa, there's a lot of people encroachment on hippo grazing territory because of crops like maize and sugarcane.
Mm-hmm.
So where there would normally be marsh grass or like regular grass, there's planted crops.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hippos love eating maize and sugarcane.
Oh, I bet.
So you have a lot of territory disputes where people are like guarding these crops at night when hippos come out to graze and putting themselves in potentially deadly circumstances because if a hippo wants to eat,
Yeah.
it's not going to be necessarily scared away by like a couple of guys with guns.
So, do they go? I mean, would they go down with guns? Like if somebody was trying to protect their crop and they shot at the hippo, like would it go down, or is it like really tough to like shoot down a hippo? I
So
wonder.
it's because of their size. I remember I saw this TikTok video of this group of people in Alaska. They were hiking with a guide, and this enormous grizzly bear just like walked down the trail they were on, and they were just standing on the side, and the guide was like, hey bear, just trying to like keep it from killing them.
Uh-huh.
And I showed it to my mom's boyfriend, Sandy, who's like, a really like avid outdoorsman, and he knows like everything about,
Yeah.
being outdoors.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, why didn't they just shoot the bear? And aside from like it not being necessarily illegal to just kill an animal like that, because of their size, you could shoot them a few times and it might do nothing, and then they're really pissed.
Oh,
Like it might not
okay.
take them out.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds what like the research I was doing was like, you can shoot a hippo, but if you don't hit an artery or something,
Plus their skin is probably really thick.
It is.
So they probably have like a border, between their organs.
What I was seeing a lot on YouTube was noise making, like banging on metal sheets seemed to be the thing to deter hippos.
Okay.
Scare them.
Huh.
Yeah. There's also been a lot of problems with cattle farming. People allowing their cattle to graze close to the riverbed at night, and hippos coming out of the water and just killing them because they're too close to the water.
Oh man. Yeah.
Speaking of coexistence or lack of coexistence, there's a town in Ghana called Wechiao, and there's a hippo sanctuary there. And the local tribe that lives there actually consider hippos as a friend of humans.
Oh,
They're sacred to them.
okay.
So the people there really live according to this belief system. So they've actually figured out how to safely live near and kind of around hippos.
Cool.
Yeah. So this local community also has this naming tradition for their children. So according to lore, when you reach puberty, you get a new name.
Okay.
And the river gods choose your new name. And in order to get your new name, you have to go down to the river's edge. And the hippo is the messenger of the river gods
Oh.
and lets you know what your new name is.
I
So
think that's so cool.
The logistics of it, I don't have an idea.
Yeah.
But that's how special the hippo is to this tribe of people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So what they do in order to coexist with the hippos and to not encroach on their territory is they have very strategic ways of fishing and farming. And they also don't live within like a mile or so of the river.
Okay.
Unlike
I wonder what
many
they're oh, go ahead.
unlike many other communities in Africa where they're right up against the river with farming and homes and things like that. Yeah.
Well, how do they do it? I wonder how they fish. Like,
I'm not sure. I didn't there weren't too many specifics, but
Yeah.
they just have like a system where maybe it's location based or it's I don't know.
Yeah,
But
that's
they've
so cool.
Yeah, they've really figured it out.
And I wonder how they get their name. I know they're like, they ask the hippo and then the hippo's like, wow.
I know.
And you're like, my name is Katie.
Right. Yeah.
It's really cool though. I'm sure it doesn't work like that, but
The video I saw was this boy just like sitting on the riverbank staring at a hippo, and like then he just like walks away, and I was like, did he like telepathically let you know your name? What's up?
I know. It's so cool though. I love that.
Yeah.
I love how they can figure out how to peacefully live,
Mhm.
next to each other, and living a mile away is probably the best idea. I still am curious about the fishing process, and also to get your name that you're kind of risking your life to get that close to the riverbed, right? I mean,
Well, however they go get their name, it's under that umbrella of safe practices with
Yeah.
hippo interaction.
So cool.
And there's many other communities in Africa and like towns and cities that have figured out how to also safely live with hippos. But this particular one, like it has like an actual like hippo sanctuary.
Oh, I
and
love
I guess
that.
it's really famous in Africa for that.
Cool.
Okay, so this is interesting. Ancient Egyptians feared hippos. The hippo is actually an evil god in Egyptian lore. They are the embodiment of malevolence, the bringer of destruction, the slayer of goodness of light, and they represent the dark side of human nature.
Well, I can see why they think that.
Yes, it must. It was. I mean, they were obviously getting killed, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Consistently. And you brought up in the other episode that you remember that one of the kings they think was killed by a hippo.
I actually think, it was in the Nile episode, and I think it was King Tut.
Yeah.
I have to look. I should have looked before this recording, but one of the pharaohs, like the famous ones, they think that he died by a hippo attack because of the way his like pieces of his ribs were missing, and like the dead is always like in Egypt, they're always buried with everything, like their organs and all that. But like it was
Mhm.
really rare to have like, I think it was like some of his bones were missing and it was really rare. And I
Wow.
think they think it was like a hippo attack that killed him. And also in that time, it was really it was a popular thing to do was to hunt hippos, and it was like a sport and it was very dangerous. So it was like a thing.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adding on to that, in an kind of odd contradiction, Egyptians also highly admired mother hippos because
Yeah.
they are extremely good mothers, and they admired them and worshiped them as the god of pregnancy.
That's nice.
I think I looked a little bit more into it. It's actually just like the god of pregnancy. It's just its head is the hippo, and then it has like, I think, like lion feet and some other animal, like crocodile legs.
Oh,
Thing. But it's like its main like head and kind of body, I guess, is the
is the
hippo.
hippo.
Mhm. This may also stem from the fact that Egyptians took notice that a hippo mother will go after and kill the exact crocodile that fucked with her calf or killed her
Really?
calf.
I didn't know that.
They're able to figure out like which lurking crocodile in the area is the exact one
Oh my
that
God,
messed
that's
with their
so
kid.
crazy.
They're like assassins.
They're super cool in a way because they're like wicked smart.
Okay, so I really don't like hippos anymore, but I do like, much like the Egyptians, I do like the hippo moms.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is obviously a very rare situation, but I found another video on YouTube about these three brothers in Cameroon who, when they were little kids and they were in a boat, they found an abandoned baby hippo
Okay.
and they started taking care of it, but like they left it in the wild. They didn't take it with them. They would just go every day and like hang out with it and bring it food.
Oh,
So they named her Africa.
I love that name.
And I don't know when this was. The video didn't have a date on it, but then it showed them as adults and Africa as a full-grown hippo, and they are like best friends with her.
Like that's insane to me.
Yeah.
And I wonder, since like the hippo is such a good mom, like how did it get abandoned? Do you think the mom died?
Yeah, the mother would have had to be like mortally injured
Yeah.
because the hippo mothers don't abandon their calves. So if
Yeah,
something
that's
happened to its mom, for sure.
that's so sad. And then they like took him in, or Africa.
Yeah, so where they were really smart little kids, and wherever they found her, they just let her do her thing.
Good.
And for years and years, they would never try to move her or take her anywhere. And she became this super docile hippo that like has like a ton of love for humans, because she's also just in the wild able to like live her life. Like she's not being constricted at all in like an area.
Are there other hippos like in her area that she's like become a part of
Yeah.
the community? Wow.
Mhm. But I think she like would separate herself from them to like hang out with the humans.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, why aren't they
Mhm.
being so territorial over Africa and stuff? But or maybe she, because they can communicate, maybe she was like, hey, these are my friends, like, don't mess with them.
And hippos are super social, so like she probably would have joined a pod, but she's just like this super unique hippo who was cared for by humans, so she associated like food and survival with human beings, but they didn't like try to tell her to, how to live her life. They were like, you do you. We'll just like make sure you're good.
Is she still alive?
I
Or
don't
he?
know. The date on the video, it didn't give any
Oh,
information.
okay. Oh, well, that's a great story.
Yeah, it's cool. So, okay, a couple more things before we get into actual attacks.
Okay.
Okay, so I mentioned this on the other episode and you got very, very upset with me. But male hippos do that same horrible thing when they move into, like, when they become the dominant male in a new pod for whatever reason, that like gorillas and lions do, where they kill all of the babies so that they can like mate with all of the females and produce their own offspring.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, because like if you want to be able to have your own offspring, you can't all of the females have to be available to you. They can't be like taking care of other babies.
I didn't realize gorillas and lions do that.
Yeah, they
Kill the
will.
babies.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so oh my god, I don't know where it is. I could probably find it, but there's this video. I don't know how they got this footage of a dominant male killing a baby hippo.
It's very sad.
And the mom can't really do anything about it. And the baby is like screaming and crying and being drowned. It's horrible. It like haunted my dreams for 3 nights. I couldn't sleep.
That's so sad. I just don't know why. It sucks that the mom can't do anything, you know?
She couldn't, yeah, she couldn't physically
What a
overpower.
sexist world that the hippos are in.
It is super sexist.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It's so gross.
And then it shows like the baby, like the dead baby on the bottom of the riverbed, and the mom's trying to push it with its nose.
No, to
and like wake it up. It's the worst thing.
And then he's probably like, now let's mate. And it's like,
yeah.
no.
And
gross.
You've seen pictures of hippo babies, baby hippos?
Yeah, you had me look one up and it was so cute.
They are so fucking cute. I posted a photo of one on the episode post.
Yeah.
They are adorable.
They're like little balls of like fat.
Yeah. And they have
so
cute little faces. So cute.
Yeah, that's messed up though. And I'm really shocked that gorillas do that, because I know hippos are smart per like everything you've told me, but gorillas are like really smart. And I wouldn't think they killed other people's babies to get into the tribe. I don't know. That's shocking. That's like mind blowing to me.
I saw a video when I was young of a male gorilla killing a baby gorilla.
Oh,
I remember it very, very vividly. I don't know what I was watching, probably like National Geographic or something.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, another little like fun fact. You are more likely to survive a shark attack, a crocodile attack, and a grizzly bear attack than you are a hippo attack.
Yeah. So I think in the first recording, you and I decided we would be, if you had a choice between what you're going to be like attacked by, we both said grizzly.
Yeah. Definitely not shark. That's a huge fear of mine. Because if you think about it too, like with a hippo, a shark, and a crocodile, you're probably going to be in the water. Mm-hmm. So not only are you being ripped apart, but you're also drowning.
Yeah.
So that's
the only thing that I was thinking about though is I think with a shark you can punch him in the nose. I know that's really hard to do though, but like that might be your way out. But then it's like horrible if you can't do that, or poke it in the eye, I think. But that's really hard to do. So
yeah, I think it's pretty rare to be attacked and to have the ability to be able to like actually punch the face.
You're right. Yeah, because and I think a grizzly, like so many people survive grizzly attacks because sometimes the grizzly just is like, all right, I'm done with this, and just kind of walks away.
Yeah, like I feel like, well, so now we know a hippo is not going to stop. A shark really probably won't. A crocodile is not going to. No. Grizzlies are a little bit more unpredictable. It's like they could just walk right next to you and not care. I mean, I guess all of these animals could, but
I think a crocodile is going to go to death because it's hungry. It wants to
Yeah.
drown you and store you for food. So
yeah,
we all
crocodiles
know.
are just pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Hate them.
Hippos are too. I might be able to, you might be able to survive a shark attack because once they bite you, well, we've talked about it in the shark episode, is sometimes they just eat you and they don't care. But like
Mhm.
sometimes they bite you and they say, oh, you're not what I was looking for. So you have like a better chance there than I think a crocodile or hippo. So it'd be shark or grizzly, but I think I'd go grizzly.
I think I would have the most confidence getting away from a grizzly bear than I would any of these other choices.
Yeah.
Definitely not the hippo.
Yeah.
There's this lake in Kenya called Lake Naivasha.
Mm-hmm.
It has an enormous hippo population, and in the last couple of years, they've seen an increase in hippo attacks there. For two reasons. The first is they had crazy rains in 2019, which caused the lake to swell and flood. The lake doesn't have any natural outlets, so it just flooded the local like villages and flower farms.
Oh, bummer.
So this just put hippos closer to humans because hippos just like go where the water is.
Yeah.
Because they also think they own it. It's their house.
Yeah.
And then with the pandemic, these flower farms shut down because Kenya is the world's third largest flower importer. And mostly Europeans that's like the customer base, and they weren't buying flowers during, the first year of the pandemic, I guess. So all of these flower farm workers had to, not all, but many of them had to resort to becoming fishermen and fisherwomen, women.
I had no idea that Kenya was such a big producer of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So now you have thousands more people fishing, and that's just putting so many more people in the territory of hippos. So you're, obviously going to have an uptick in incidents and attacks and deaths.
Absolutely. And, a lot of these newer fishermen probably don't really, know the laws of the hippo.
They're not as
territory.
Yeah, they're not as knowledgeable about how to avoid a hippo attack.
Mm-hmm.
I read an article that at the local Naivasha hospital, at least 2 people per week are treated for serious hippo attack injuries.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's true.
And that's not even deaths. That's just
okay.
like coming in because like you are bleeding to death.
2 a week.
At least.
And I was thinking about the number 500 a year. And I was thinking, that's technically like almost 2 a day. If you think about it, maybe it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into some attacks and some deaths. Eek. So I mixed in survival stories too.
Hell yeah.
And there are a ton of death stories, but this, the episode would be like 15 hours long if I went through all of them. So I selected like a handful that I think are a good representation of the type of attacks and deaths I was reading about.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going to start with a captive hippo. It's 1966, and we are at the Whitley, I don't know if it's Whitley or Whiteley Zoo in Harrogate, England.
Okay.
Richard McCormick is a 17-year-old zookeeper. His job is tending to Harry the hippo, the zoo's only hippo, and he's like this famous figure, and everybody thinks he's so charming and amazing. So Richard cleans Harry's cage and brushes him with a wire brush. But he's not in charge of feeding him or anything like that.
Right. Just the brushing and keeping the cage. Yeah.
Just like picking up his poop and
doing
some beauty maintenance.
Nice.
So one day Richard is cleaning the cage and Harry is in like a gated holding cell. So Richard can clean the cage without being in the same confinement as Harry.
Mm-hmm.
So the barrier between the two cells or cages, something happens and it's breached. So they don't know it. Somebody accidentally opened it, or it wasn't properly secured. Anyway, Harry is released back into the main cage with Richard.
Oh no.
And he immediately attacks him. He drags him into his little pool and viciously mauls him.
Oh.
Luckily, Harry had just had one of his tusks removed, so his bite isn't as damaging.
Oh, good.
But he's still like really fucking Richard up. Okay.
Yeah, because you have the canines in the back and the
Mhm.
one tusk up in the front.
And every other thing about you is a hippo that is deadly.
Yeah.
So another zookeeper hears Richard screaming and runs over and starts beating Harry with an iron bar. And Harry actually releases Richard.
Oh.
Then the zookeeper is like, we can't wait for an ambulance. So he throws Richard into his own little car and drives him to the hospital. He's like almost dead.
Wow.
But he gets enough medical attention in time to save his life.
Oh my God. Yay.
So he
That's great.
survives. So there was another attack on another like young zookeeper. But his injuries weren't as significant. But what I was reading was that it happened, I guess, after the attack on Richard. And when this kid was attacked, they told him, this is like the second attack. And if you say anything, they're going to put Harry down and we can't have that.
Oh.
So we're going to, your story, when we take you to the hospital, this is another situation where they're like, we're going to take you to the hospital. Your story is going to be that like you fell or you did something. Cause I think Harry like broke his ankle or something and like bit him. Or like mangled his arm or something.
Oh my God.
So it was like, I think he was like
it was
a teenager.
Hush.
So then this other kid goes on to say that they gave him like a ton of whiskey on the way to like get him fucked up.
Okay.
And yeah, he had to pretend that like he just injured himself somehow.
Oh my God. Come on.
Yeah. So
I would have been like, no. This like hippo almost
mhm.
killed me, but that's okay. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to fast forward all the way to the 90s.
Okay.
So it's 1996. We're on the Zambezi River in Zimbabwe. These three guides, kayak guides, this is important that we know their names. Okay, so the first one is Paul Templar. The second one is Paul McNamara, but they call him Mac.
Okay.
And then the third was simply referred to as Evans in all of the articles I found.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Paul, Mac, and Evans. They are guides on the river. They take tourists down in canoes and kayaks.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a beautiful day. They have a group of visitors. They have this like really nice picnic on the the riverbank. They're drinking red wine and gin and tonics. It's gorgeous outside.
It sounds nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds amazing. Paul, one of the guides, is a super experienced river guide. He's traveled this river, like he knows every inch of it. So earlier that week, other guides that had taken people out had warned Paul and Mac and Evans that there's this rogue male hippo in and around the route that they take people down. And this rogue male hippo has been chasing people's boats.
Wow.
So Paul and Mac and Evans are like, okay, we're going to avoid that section of the river where this male has been spotted. because the river is like, it's like has different little channels, and like those like chunks of grassy land and like little sections that branch off. So like you don't have to necessarily take just like one route.
Oh, okay. So, because I was like, yeah, I was trying to imagine like, how that works, like how to avoid like that part of the river. So,
Yeah.
and is the river really wide?
Yeah, it's not like super wide, but it's just like wherever this rogue male has been hanging out, Paul knew like, oh, okay, if we just like take this channel or like this way, like we probably won't run into him.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because also like like the grass is like really high on those like island things. So like if you go down like one little section, you wouldn't be seen from like the other side of the river necessarily.
Okay.
So they start their trip and they avoid the area where the male has been spotted. But then they come upon a female hippo and her calf, which is extremely dangerous.
That's so dangerous.
So they're like, shit. So they have to divert their path, in order to like directly avoid this hippo. And they have to divert their path back to where this rogue male has been hanging out. Like there's no choice, basically.
Why couldn't they just go back like home?
I don't
like
know.
Turn around, But
I thought that too, but I feel like the guides were like, it'll be fine. Like, I don't think there were many like attacks with their like company or like maybe in that specific area. So they felt like, overly confident that they would be cool.
Okay.
So Evans, one of the guides, he's like, okay, I'm going to hang back a bit. You guys all go ahead. I'm just going to like hang back just to make sure that we're in the clear, just to make sure that this female hippo is like staying put and not like, running underwater following us.
That would be so hard to tell anyway, right? I mean,
yeah, but I think he just like wanted to have eyes on her because she was like above. She was like, maybe if she'd gone underwater, he would like,
choose to go
like
with
warn them or something. I think he just wanted to like, he was just like, he was manning the rear.
That's brave of him.
So so the tourists keep going down the river with the other two guides, Paul and Mac. And they float into this super thick like fog mist from Victoria Falls.
Oh, wow.
So it surrounds all of them in their boats and like they can see, but like not too far in front of them.
Oh, I don't like that.
So it's like super eerie and everyone is just like sitting in their canoes and kayaks, like looking around like, and then like a horror movie.
But how beautiful would it be to be like, this is the mist from Victoria Falls?
Oh yeah.
Like,
it would be amazing if, like I would just be super paranoid about
I would be so terrified.
But
absolutely. I would be so terrified.
To relax. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even realize how close the falls was to even get the mist from it. So that's pretty crazy. But anyway, go ahead.
I think it like blew in. They weren't like too close to but it was like something to do with the waterfall.
Gotcha.
So then like, it's like kind of like, in like a horror movie where like, you like think it's the killer and it's just like your friend, and he's like, it's just me. So Evan appears like, into the mist and they're like, oh my God, because he like scares them. But it's just him catching up with them.
Okay.
And he's like, guys, it's just me. And then all of a sudden he is launched out of his boat into the river.
Oh my God.
Because the male hippo had been following them underwater the entire time.
The whole group,
but like followed Evans to the group.
Oh God.
Yeah. So everyone's like screaming and freaking out. Evans is in the water and the hippo starts mauling him. So Paul and Mac get everyone to the riverbank. And then Paul heads to where Evans is in the water to try to save him. He's in his canoe.
Oh.
So he reaches Evans, but as he's about to pull him into his boat, the hippo pulls Evans under the water and starts to drown him.
Oh no.
Evans pops up again, and then the hippo pulls him back under again. Evans pops up again, and Paul reaches for him again, but just as Paul is about to take Evans' hand, the hippo erupts out of the water and literally engulfs Paul in its mouth.
Oh my God.
So Paul is hanging out of this hippo's mouth, just all you can see are his legs and feet.
Oh my God.
Like from his butt up, he's completely inside the hippo's mouth. Yeah.
And Evans is still in the water, like drowning. Like,
Evans is in the water with severe injuries and is like just, clinging on to life, but still alive.
oh my God.
So Paul is being swallowed basically by the hippo. He's fighting and pushing and like punching and trying to get the hippo to release his grip. And it works. And the hippo dumps Paul into the water because he's probably like, this is not working.
Yeah.
So Paul is dumped into the water. He pops up out of the water and he's face to face with Evans. And then the hippo starts mauling Evans again.
Right in front of him.
Right in front of him.
After he was just in his mouth.
Yeah. So Paul was
yeah.
in the hippo's mouth, gets dumped out, pops back up, sees Evans getting mauled again. So then so then the hippo like releases Evans for whatever reason. And Paul sees Evans' eyes roll back into the back of his head and he starts having a seizure and he just sinks into the river and drowns.
Oh no, that's so sad.
Yeah, he was killed by his injuries. So then Paul, at this point, he also passes out. He sinks to the bottom of the river. I mean, it's shallow. It's like only like 4 or 5 feet.
Uh-huh.
He regains consciousness pretty quickly and he looks up and he can see blood just swirling, like mixing with the sun and the grass and like the surface of the water.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I'm bleeding to death. That's my blood. Like I'm clearly dying.
He's so lucky he woke up.
Mm-hmm. So Paul pops back up to the surface and the hippo is right there waiting for him and attacks him again.
Oh no.
So now Mac, the third guide, he comes over with his canoe and Paul manages to somehow get away from the hippo and grab onto Mac's canoe, but the hippo is right behind him trying to bite his feet to pull him back under.
Oh my God.
And Mac is screaming like, swing your fucking feet up. Like he's coming for your feet. Lift your goddamn legs up. Like he's right behind you. So I have no idea how, but Paul is able to get himself into the canoe.
Okay. That's really difficult to do.
I know.
in general, when you're not like being chased or like extremely injured by a hippo is to get into a canoe.
Yeah. Somehow like Mac is helping him, but he's able to like maybe just his adrenaline. He's able to like swing himself into the canoe.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah. So Mac paddles him to the land.
Mac's brave for going out after
Oh my God, I know. It's like he's in the clear technically, but he like goes back, he could have gotten away and survived, but he goes back out to help his buddy.
That's an awesome person. Yeah.
So Mac pulls Paul out of the boat and onto land, and he is horrified by what he's seeing, by Paul's injuries. It's the worst thing he's ever seen. So Paul's arm from his left shoulder to his elbow is completely crushed. And then from his left elbow to his hand, all of the flesh has been stripped off his arm. It's literally just like a bone.
Ooh.
He has lacerations in his head, in his hand, and there's a hole in his left foot that you can see through.
Oh my God.
It's huge and you can see right through it. Then Paul starts spitting up blood and he's like, I feel like my lungs are filling up with blood. Like I can feel it. And Mac like is looking him over and he looks at his back and there is a enormous puncture wound right in his back through his lung.
Oh God.
Yeah. So Mac had food from the picnic in his canoe.
Okay.
And he takes the cling wrap off of it and he like plugs up the hole in the Paul's
lung.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
to like stop the bleeding.
Oh my God.
So Mac and the whoever like the tourists were that are helping him, they load Paul into the canoe. They have to paddle through more hippo territory to get to safety, but they manage to get to another camp. And for some reason, there happens to be an ambulance just sitting there.
No.
Like, nobody called the ambulance. Nobody knew this was happening. I guess like this ambulance driver just like happened to be driving on that road and like stopped to do something, like have lunch or something. It was like some really insane coincidence.
That's amazing.
So they load him in to the ambulance. They can't give him any painkillers because he has spinal, neck, and head injuries, and that could be fatal. I guess I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I wonder why.
Yeah, I know.
So he's just suffering in extreme pain.
Yep. So it's a super long, bumpy ride. They amputate his arm at the hospital, and he miraculously survives.
Wow.
So he tells this whole story. I watched his interview, and they don't show his whole body. And then at the end of the interview, they show that he doesn't have an arm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does he have like scars on his face or anything like from the lacerations?
No, but like if you look at his skull, so he's bald. If you look at his skull, it looks like there's like a chunk missing from like the side of his head almost. I posted a photo of him also.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait to see. And like, think about those tourists. Like,
I know. I know. And like, you're sitting there like, God, these guys are like, if they weren't here, like they're kind of sacrificing themselves for our survival.
That's insane. Well, also just like walking away from that tour, you know that you were seconds away from death. Like that hippo could have been stalking any of them, and it happened to follow like Evans or to the group.
Yeah. Paul also said that it was super quiet when he was in the hippo's mouth.
Ew.
Like really quiet and obviously really dark, and obviously it smelled terrible. But
ew.
Yeah. Okay,
that's an incredible story.
I know. That's the longest story that I have. So the next
Sorry. Did they recover Evans's body?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would think so.
It's like, it's hard to though, because it's like, you don't like, how would you get in there to get it? Because it's in the hippo's like den, you know?
Yeah, I know. Maybe they went like, with lots of weapons and
maybe,
stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Okay, so that's the longest one that I had. And then I have a bunch of just like shorter ones. So the next one, in 2007, Carol Sue Kirkin, a 75-year-old world traveler and philanthropist, is on a safari in Tanzania with her family. They were at a point in the safari where you can get out and watch the wildlife. So Carol and her son walk to an area, and they're watching hippos graze from like a safe distance. Their guide tells them it's fine. All of a sudden, a hippo charges them and mauls Carol to death in front of her son and the rest of the people on the safari. And everyone is just helpless. There's nothing they can do.
So what? It's just crazy to me how like the guide's like, it's fine. You can look. I mean, I know it's not the guide's fault because they probably it's never happened before, but it's like, that's so scary.
Like you've seen those videos of safaris where they're in the Jeeps and like the elephant is chasing them, or like the leopard comes up and swipes someone with, or tries to.
Yeah.
This, I think, was just one of those times where like it was so unexpected.
Totally.
That would happen. Like you're in danger when you're on safari, but like,
yeah, it's making me rethink my safari dreams. Well, because you also like, the way we see hippos, on video is because, a lot of these tourists like take these videos and they're not exactly like far away. They're pretty close. So that, it's probably that same thing where the tour guide was like, hey, you can stop here and like, check out the hippos. That's really scary.
It
and
is really
sad.
scary. I know.
That poor son.
I know. It's awful. Okay, so 2011, a South African farmer by the name of Marius Els. He's kind of like a Joe Exotic type. He keeps like wild animals on his farm and thinks that he can control them and like brags that he's tamed them. And the article I read said that he would just like go into the wild and like just take like baby animals or like other animals and just like put them on his farm.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking weirdo.
Weird.
So he traps a baby hippo. He steals a baby hippo somehow. Adopts it is what he says. And he names it Humphrey. And he raises it on his farm. He would ride on Humphrey's back, play with him, swim in the water with him. And then Humphrey one day mauls Marius to death, drags him into the water and drowns him. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking when you first started the story? I was like, oh, that mama hippo is going to be hunting for that guy for life.
Yeah.
To figure out like who had the baby. But also that's what happens when you like trap a natural animal and you like, it's so.
And
awful.
think that it's like a dog.
I know.
That it's going to listen to you.
That's, yeah.
Or like a cat. It's just going to like hang out in your, on your property and just like do its thing. It's like, no, it doesn't like you.
Well, and I know why, like in this case, why that hippo Humphrey probably like got angry and like rebelled and stuff. But I was also surprised that Africa, even though they like left her, they did it the right way. They left her in her spot, I'm still surprised she didn't like freak out one day and, attack.
I think that's the difference between Africa and Humphrey. Africa was just always allowed to go wherever she wanted in the wild. Humphrey was confined on a farm.
Yeah. And then the guy was like riding his back.
Which Africa would let them ride her back.
Oh, really?
And little kids.
That's cool.
But like she didn't feel like they were trying to keep her anywhere. I think that's the difference probably.
Okay. Yeah, totally. Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so fast forward to 2018, we're at Lake Naivasha, which I mentioned earlier, in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Chang Ming Chuang, a Chinese tourist, is taking photos of wildlife on the shore of the lake when a hippo emerges from the water and attacks him. The hippo pulls him into the water and mangles his body in front of other horrified tourists. Ugh. Another tourist near Chang is also then attacked by the hippo, but he survives. So Chang is killed. So leading up to this fatal attack, 6 people that year had already been killed, like right where he was, like right in that on the shore.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if there was, somebody dropped the ball. Like maybe put a sign up or something that's like, people keep dying here. Don't go near here.
Yeah. I wonder if it was the same hippo for every death.
I don't know.
In that spot.
Maybe it could have been like one of those rogue, more aggressive ones, even though they're all pretty much aggressive.
Like a serial killer hippo. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so same year, 2018, back on the Zambezi River in Zimbabwe, where Paul and Mac and Evans were attacked. Kristen Yaldor and her husband Ryan are on vacation. They live in Tampa, Florida. They are traveling on canoe with a guide down the river. Their guide notices a pod of hippos and immediately instructs them to paddle as fast as they can to get out of there, but it's too late. One of the hippos submerges itself and then pops up underneath Kristen and Ryan's canoe, hurling them into the water. Ryan is able to escape by swimming to shore, while Kristen is pulled underwater by her leg. Kristen is somehow able to smack the hippo multiple times in its snout.
Good job.
Yep. Like, ideally, we would all be able to do that if we were being attacked by an animal.
Yeah.
And by some miracle, the hippo releases her and she has horrible injuries, but she's able to swim herself to shore.
Oh,
She's transported to the hospital and she survives.
oh my God.
Yeah.
She
But her
is so lucky.
Her poor husband just has to watch basically her get attacked. And the guide, they're watching her get attacked. There's nothing they can do.
That's so upsetting.
I know.
I don't know if I'd be able to watch. Honestly, I think I would have to go in and do something if it was like Sam or like you or like
I know.
any family member. I don't know.
I'm sure they were like screaming and banging on shit, but like,
right.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. There's just really nothing.
I know.
But I didn't realize the snout thing was a thing for hippos. So maybe that's good to keep in mind if that is your only option, if you can even get to that.
I think
it in the snout.
Probably most of the time it doesn't work, but for whatever reason this time, like it pissed the hippo off, you know, in a way that he was like, I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this. Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I'm going back to my pod. Stupid bitch.
Also, I didn't even like mention this, but I love how it's called a pod.
Mm-hmm.
You've said that several times, and I knew what you were talking about, but I guess I've been calling it a den, and I didn't know it was a pod. So I thought that was cool.
It's like there's two other names for it too, like a bilge, I think is another one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay, 2019. A fisherman by the name of Matthew Wanjuko is fishing on Lake Naivasha in Kenya. Like we said, Lake Naivasha has an enormous hippo population, about 2,000 strong. So the details are a little unclear with this one, but there's video and photos of this attack.
Uh-oh.
Because there happened to be a photographer right there who couldn't do anything but decided I might as well film it.
Oh.
So so this fisherman it appears that he was walking back from the river through a grazing area when a hippo spots him. And the hippo either saw him in the grazing area and attacked him or followed him from the water. We're not sure.
Okay.
But in any case, the hippo starts mauling him. He pins Matthew underneath this dead tree that had fallen down.
Oh no.
And if you watch the video, like Matthew is on his stomach, his feet are up in the air and he's just screaming and this hippo is biting and attacking him in the back. And all of these people are watching and no one can do anything. And this photographer is like, he should like, the government should hire him to like go to war zones. Like it's a pretty steady hand he's got with this video.
Oh my God.
I would be like freaking out.
Is that one of the videos you posted on YouTube?
I think it might be in the compilation video that I posted the link to.
Cool.
Yeah. It was like 6 hippo attacks you're not gonna want to watch or something is like the title of it.
I'll definitely want to watch them, but
yeah,
because I'm crazy.
No, you definitely should.
Yeah.
So this attack lasts for 10 minutes. The hippo bites into Matthew's torso, slices open his shoulder, slices his arm open, slices his stomach open. It goes to rear up and trample him. But by this time, people had found like some metal sheets and were banging on it, and it scared the hippo away.
Oh my God. Maybe I don't want to watch that.
It's just the weirdest. Like you see this guy's face just like staring ahead, like just horrified. Like he's
I don't
like
know.
he like knows he's about to die. So he's taken to the hospital and he survives. Wow. A lot of these are happy endings.
Thank God. But that's 10 minutes is the longest, like 2 million years of your life. I feel like if you're getting attacked by a hippo.
Oh my God. 10 minutes is a very fucking long time to have something grinding its tusks and teeth into your flesh and like pinning you under this tree.
It's like a torture chamber. It's like death by torture chamber, honestly.
I know. Crazy. Okay, so 2020 in Kenya again, in Manguo village. So this Olympic level Kenyan runner by the name of Edwin Mokua is training. He's taking a run. He's with his training partner, and I couldn't find the training partner's name anywhere, but he plays like a really important part of this story. So they're running on a dirt road near the Iwaso Niro River. It's known for its large hippo population, and many people over the years have been killed in this area by hippos.
Oh.
So Edwin and his partner are running side by side, and then his partner is like, I'm going to run ahead. I'm going to accelerate my speed, and like, I'll just meet you, wherever we were going to end our run. So Edwin's like, okay, cool. Like, I'll see you there. So Edwin was really only going to be like a little bit behind the guy.
Yeah.
So Edwin's training partner is like running and, for a few minutes. And then he looks back and he doesn't see Edwin. He's like, what? Like, he shouldn't be that far behind me.
Yeah.
So he has this weird feeling. So like, instead of just continuing on to the point where they're going to meet up, he's like, I'm going to double back and just like make sure everything's cool.
Yeah.
So he finds Edwin lying in the road. He's almost dead. A hippo had come out of like the bushes and mauled Edwin. It broke a bunch of his ribs, like shattered his ribs and like broke his hands, and then just left him to die on the road.
That's nice.
So Edwin's partner, his training partner, is able to get help for him, which ultimately saves his life. But like, if he had just kept running and left him there, he would have died.
Oh my God. I wonder how far help was. Like he probably had to leave Edwin and like run.
I'm not
distance.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he probably did. But if you want anyone like running to go get you help, it's a Kenyan.
Oh my God,
runner.
absolutely.
Like, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Also, the training partner must have been so scared, not only for his friend, but also like, where is this hippo that like appeared out of the bushes? Like, that to me is so scary. Like, you could just be running and then a hippo comes out of nowhere and just mauls you. Like,
you know what it's like? It's like when you hear those 911 calls where someone finds someone dead in their house and they're just on 911. They're like, he's dead. And it's like, wait, but you're still in the house.
Yeah. Like where
what
is
if the killer's in the closet?
Exactly.
That's
what it feels like.
Every time I watch like a Forensic Files or like a Dateline and they're just like, I found a dead body in the bedroom. I'm like, okay, but you should be like in your locked car. You should not be like hanging out at the crime scene.
Absolutely. Yeah. But that's exactly what it's like. Like for the hippo situation.
Yeah. Super scary.
I do not like, and also I guess you can't like live in fear, but like, if I had known this road was really, popular for like hippo attacks, I don't know if they should have been running there.
again, like, I know so many of these communities, they live right in this territory. I've always wondered that about places where there are deadly animals. Like the deadliest animal we have is the black bear, probably, in this area, and like they don't fuck with people. Like it would be so. I think black bears kill like one person a year, and that's because like the person gets in between their dog and the bear
Yeah.
because the dog is advancing on the bear or something. So I don't know. Like, how do people walk down the road when there's wild animals like that in their environment?
Yeah. And I know that they probably have just like their ancestors have like been there forever. So that, it's just probably a part of life, but it would just scare me.
This is how I feel though about you swimming in the ocean every summer.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I'm not talking about at the beach. I'm talking about when you take like your family's boat and like your jet skis and you're like in the ocean. I'm like, why? Why are you doing that?
So,
like, 100% of shark attacks happen in the water, right?
Yeah. And I can't remember if we talked about this. Maybe we mentioned it, but did we talk about the guy who just got like eaten alive in Australia a few months ago in February?
We talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on an episode.
Yeah. So basically there's like a video out there that you can watch. It's very disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
But some fisherman or somebody, I don't know, everybody was on the beach.
I think it was someone fishing took it.
Well, there was somebody. The messed up part about the video, and the guy got a lot of shit, was that there was a fisherman that was just like fishing, and in the background there's another guy filming it, but like the fisherman doesn't stop fishing. He's just like he
keeps casting.
And the guy's like, it's so bad though. It's very scary. Like you can hear the screams of this guy. He's in the ocean and you see flailing around and then
blood.
And it's literally, it was like all over the internet. His name was Simon. I forget his last name, but the messed up part is that he was like a huge shark advocate.
Mm-hmm.
And he like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what he did. He was training for some kind of swimming event, but he also was like an advocate for no nets, because to protect people from sharks, because the nets were really bad for sharks and other wildlife. And it's just a messed up thing. So that video has very much so affected me. And, we have great whites up here, far enough out. So I think I've been kind of keeping it shallow these last few years. I'm not going to lie. I think we'll be keeping it really shallow this year, because I like to boogie board.
Yeah, but even like when we were in Maine last summer, you went out into like neck high water at one point.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? No. That's too deep.
It is a little deep, right?
That's don't most people get attacked in like what, like chest high water?
Yeah. The thing that I convinced myself, but I know it's not right, is that where the beach that I swim is, it's within the bay, but that doesn't say anything really. Sharks like don't really go in the bay apparently, but who knows? How am I supposed to know? I do have a shark tracker though for my area.
What is that?
You can actually get it. What is it called? Oh, I got a new phone and my apps are all messed up. I have it downloaded somewhere. I'll look it up and say it on the next podcast, but it tracks sharks that have been tracked essentially. So they already have a tracker and you can see where different like sharks are in the bay. And there's actually quite a bit right outside Cape Elizabeth.
Oh,
like God. Last summer there was. Yeah. I've never seen them like in the actual bay, but they're not all the sharks are tracked, right? So it's only like, a select few. I don't know. I have been more like, I'm not like swimming like I used to. The older I get, the more I'm like,
It's just not worth it to me.
Yeah.
You
It is
know?
scary. Yeah, definitely.
Um,
But we're really glad we don't have hippos, at least. I mean, that's insane. Like, I've learned so much tonight on this episode.
I have one more survival and death combo.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so back in Lake Naivasha in Kenya, May of 2021, so this wasn't that long ago.
Oh yeah.
Two fishermen, one is named Maura and the other's name is Babu. They didn't have their last names. Local fishermen, they can't afford a boat, so what they do is super dangerous. They wade into the water with fishing nets and place them.
Oh.
Yeah. Babu, who is the more experienced fisherman of the two, he had actually survived 4 previous hippo attacks.
Wow.
So
That's lucky.
Yeah. Babu is much more experienced. He is giving Maura tips on like how he survived because they're right in hippo territory. So they're in the water placing the nets, and a hippo had been watching them for a while, and it goes in for the kill. It lunges at Maura. He knows how to swim, so he swims away. Babu doesn't know how to swim. The hippo turns to Babu, lunges at him, grabs him, punctures his back 3 times with its tusks.
Oh.
And Babu, the veteran survivor of all of these attacks, dies. He bleeds out and dies in the river. This group of fishermen were watching the entire thing with Maura, and they are screaming, hitting the water with sticks, but nothing deterred this particular hippo, and Babu didn't make it.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked that I know that hippos can't swim and the other guy did swim away, but you would think that the hippo would still be able to get him because of just launching off the ground with speed. It's shocking that he could just swim away.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's the difference of 2 seconds where you either run through the water or quickly kind of
Dive away.
Dive away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's but it's such a it's it's a 2-second differential, between being grabbed or being just outside of the grasp.
And did you say they were how deep were they? I know they were wading, but were they waist deep?
Yeah, waist deep. Yeah, not deep at all.
God, I mean, after 4 hippo attacks, you would think to not go do that.
Well,
I know that they were fishermen. That's how they needed to make their living and stuff, but
probably didn't have much of a choice.
I know.
And so many fishermen get attacked and live,
Yeah. That is insane, B. Wow.
Yeah, so those are my survival stories and also deadly hippo attack stories.
You did such a good job and I learned so much.
I feel like you probably remembered a lot of it from the other one. Maybe some of it. Every time I had a new fact, I was I wonder if she is reacting to this for the first time or remembers this.
Let's just say I had some margs that time.
Listen, we all get loose with it. And you know what? You don't have any dependents. No, it's not it's not like you have a kid that you have to take care of. You are free as a bird.
I know.
Do whatever you damn well please. Okay.
I know. No, I mean, it's always nice to actually listen to things a second time. You take more in, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. You did such a good job. And honestly, I feel very educated about hippos. I always knew they were kind of territorial, but that was about it. And now I feel I know a lot more than I would have. And also I'm a little nervous to
go do my dream Africa thing now, more so than I was.
Well, now you know that if the guide is like, hey, hop off and go check out those hippos over there, you're good. You're going to be like, no,
I'm just gonna be like,
fuck no,
no.
not doing
Where's
it.
the tin pans or whatever?
Yeah, you're going to be on the safari and you're going to be like, do you have the metal sheets ready?
Yeah. Hi, Lo. Yeah, I'd be the person on the safari to bring the tin pans. They'd be like, what are those for? I'm like, you know.
You're like, for the frigging hippos, do you listen to Killer Earth?
Yeah. Our spokesperson in the background, Lo.
We will be releasing another episode soon.
Yes, I actually am almost done with my research, so we'll be recording in the next few days.
Yay.
But no, that was so great. You did such a great job. And also one more thing. Another thing I realized is that it's Mercury retrograde right now.
Which means that everyone is going to blame their poor choices and unfortunate life decisions on the sky.
Yeah. And but also technology does get messed up, and think about my mic and stuff at work has been weird.
Yeah, but we figured out your mic. It was just a simple thing.
I know, you're right.
It had nothing to do with this Mars or whatever. Mercury.
I'm just saying things have been really off for me, in weird ways.
I just feel like there are people in my life who could get into a car accident or could lose a pencil and everything is Mercury retrograde.
I know.
It's no, this is just what happens in life.
Oh, well. Yes, I agree. You're right. There's always a reason for something.
Yeah. And it's not what's happening in the solar system. I mean, I think astrology is fun, but
I know.
I don't really believe in it.
Well, they say that the way the earth is tilted and movement and gravity can actually have the way things are going right now in Mercury retrograde, and it has something to do with the aligning of the planets. It actually says that it can alter, it can create problems with technology.
Oh, okay. So it does have some kind of scientific grounding. It's not just oh, okay. I thought it was just an astrology thing. I didn't know it also has some, I know that they talk about it in astrology, but I didn't know that there was also some actual scientific.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff that can ruin frequencies. I've just had weird issues with technology. I know the mic thing is one thing, but that we fixed it because it was a setting on my computer. But even with my TV, it's been really weird. Yes, I just changed the batteries a week ago in my remote, and it's a newer remote. And then yesterday it froze. I couldn't do anything, and I changed the batteries and started working. Weird stuff like that. I don't know. It may not have anything to do with it, but they do. If you read about it, there's actually some scientific stuff that says this is messing with different frequencies and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyway, well, great job. We will talk to you guys soon. Don't forget, we have merch if you're interested.
I love how you say merch. You always go merch.
Merch. And then also it would be really helpful if you like us and you could leave us an awesome review.
Yes.
That's always helpful for podcasts that are, newer and just starting out. Just helps us get around.
Also, we have a YouTube channel now, and I'm going to start loading episodes and other fun little videos.
Yay. I'm so happy about that. Thank you.
Yeah, because I know some people, I put YouTube on while I'm working, and I just have it on shuffle, and I listen to interviews and podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
I don't always love to use my phone when I'm on my laptop. I like it to be all on one. So yeah, just making it accessible.
Yeah, I think that's so awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. Also, if you have any Killer Earth related survivor stories, please email us at killerearthpodcast@gmail.com. It would be really great to hear from you and hear how you like survived something.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Catherine.
Okay, Vanessa.
Talk to you later.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
I don't like Hippo anymore.